Hello, YouTube. This is Set Free from the Trap Ministry. I am on here to share about this this calling to be a pastor, be an evangelist, what it's all about. The church cannot take credit for it. We cannot take credit for this. People ask, how is it a vocation? What no, it's not a vocation. The church cannot take credit for it. We cannot. We cannot take credit for it. We can't do it. Sharing the good news of Jesus Christ with people is a calling. You got to be called by Jesus Christ. He got to speak to you. You can't call yourself. It's a calling. It's a calling. So the church cannot take credit for it. It's not a vocation. It's not something that we came up with. No. Sharing the good news Sharing the good news of Jesus with people is a calling from Jesus Christ. The church cannot, we cannot take credit for it. We cannot. No pastor, no person can say, look at who. No, we can't. No, we can't do that. It's a calling, and I'm going to share. I'm in Matthew 22. This is Jesus Christ telling a parable about, it's talking about calling, about being called. And I'm in Matthew 22. Then Jesus said, then he said to his servant, the wedding banquet is ready. But then, but those who invited did not deserve to come. They did not deserve to come. So go into the street corners and invite to the banquet. So anyone you find. So the servant went out into the streets and gathered all the people that he could find, as well as the good, the bad, and the wedding hall was full with guests. But when the king came out to see the guests, he noticed that a man there there who was not wearing a wedding clothes. He asked, how did you get in here without wearing wedding clothes? The man was speechless. So what he's sharing is here about being called. This man was not invited to the wedding. Then the king told the attendants to tie his hands and feet, and throw him out into the darkness where there's gnashing of teeth. For many are invited, but few are chosen. Everybody don't answer the call to follow Jesus Christ. So to be a pastor, to be an ambassador, you got to be called. This is a calling. This is not something that I just woke up one day and said, bam, I think I want to share Jesus Christ. No, I answered the call. Okay. I answered the call. I didn't know the plan that God had for me. I just wanted to see what was going on with Jesus. See, it was his way better. It's a calling. You have to be called by Jesus Christ. You cannot call yourself. It's not a vocation. It's not something that we come up with. It's not about us. So the church can't take credit for it. Just like the man at the wedding banquet, he didn't belong in there. He wasn't invited to the wedding. A lot of people don't answer the invitation to follow what God got for them. Maybe it's an evangelist. Maybe it's to be a pastor. Maybe it's to be an ambassador. We cannot take credit for it in the church. We can't do it. I answered the call. I answered the call. Few are chosen, many are called. Everybody don't answer the call. It's a calling. To get on the microphone and rap about your testimony and talk about how God set you free, it's not about being no Christian rapper. When people don't understand stuff, they put in the box. It's not about being no Christian rapper or having no stage name. That ain't what it's about. Nope. It's not about being no Christian rapper. It's not about being no CHH. It ain't about none of that. When you're called by Jesus Christ and he called you to use your gift, it's not about being a Christian rapper or a CHH. It's not about that. It's about answering the call and following what God told you to do. That's what it's about. It's not about, I got a stage name. No, it ain't about that. It's a calling. Everybody do not answer the call to follow Christ. They don't answer the call. It's like the man at the wedding banquet. He didn't belong there. Jesus Christ is inviting people to follow him. He said in Jeremiah 29:11, he know the plans he got for you, a future and a hope. But you got to choose this day who you're going to serve. He got a calling for you. But he gotta speak to you like he spoke to me. Why would I be on here if I didn't answer God's call? I didn't know what he had planned. You don't just wake up and say, I want to be a pastor. No, you have to be called. You got to let Jesus speak to you. Everybody don't answer the invitation. Some people try to fake like they're down with Jesus Christ, but they're not. So it's a calling. Sharing the good news of Jesus Christ with people is a calling from Jesus Christ. The church we cannot take credit for it. I'm a pastor. No, it's not about us. We got to give God the glory. Even if you're rapping your testimony on the microphone and you're a Christian man or woman, you rapping about how God changed you. You answered the call. That's what it's about. It's not about being no Christian rapper or no CHH. It's a calling. Everybody don't answer the call. Everybody don't answer the call. You got to let God speak to you. You got to let him call you. I answered his call. I answered his call. So in the church, we cannot take credit. We cannot take credit for it. Few are called, many are chosen. Everybody don't answer the call to follow Christ and to follow his plans. Everybody don't do that. So I pray in the church that God would help us not to try to take credit for what we didn't do. We can't take credit in the church. We cannot. To share the good news of about Jesus Christ is a calling. It's a calling. You got to be called by Jesus Christ. Just like invited. When you go somewhere and you're invited. If you're not invited, you shouldn't be there. If you don't have an invitation, God is giving an invitation to people, but a lot of people are rejecting. They don't want to follow his calling, what he got for them. So you gotta be called by Jesus Christ. This is not something that you just wake up. Oh, I think I want to be follow Christ. I think I want to be a pastor. I think I want to be an ambassador for Christ. No, Jesus has to call you. If Jesus Christ don't call you, then I don't know what you're doing. It's a calling. I answered the call. He has a future and a plan for you, but you got to let go of your plans. You got to put down your plans and make a choice to follow his plans. He loves you. He cares about you, but you have to spend time with Jesus and let him lead you so you can know that he called you. Jeremiah 29:11. He got a future and a hope for you. He knows the future. So anybody rapping on the microphone about how God changed them, they're not trying to be no Christian rapper. It ain't about being no Christian rapper. And Christian rapper is not in the Bible. Christian, that's not what it means to be a Christ follower. I'm a Christian rapper. No, that ain't what it's about. The person that you see rapping about Christ and how God changed them, guess what? God called them. He called them out of darkness into his marvelous light. It's about answering that call. It's about answering the call. That's what it's about. It's not about these labels. I'm a Christian rapper. I'm a gangster rapper. I'm a secular rapper. It's not about that. When you have a calling where Jesus Christ calls you into his light, and he called you to share your testimony on and off the microphone, it's a calling. It's a calling. Got to be called by Jesus Christ. This is Set Free from the Trap Ministry. Bye-bye.